Chapter 1. The Fall of Earth. The sky was burning. Commander Darius Kane stood atop the ruins of Fort Olympus, his pulse rifle humming in his grip. Below, the Earth's defenses were in flames. Titanic battleships, reduced to molten wreckage, littered the landscape. The Xel'Thar had come in numbers no one could have predicted. Massive biomechanical war machines crushed entire battalions underfoot, and swarms of insectoid soldiers tore through the fences like a hurricane of death. Kane's helmet visor flickered with emergency signals. The planetary defense grid was offline. Reinforcements were not coming. "Commander Kane, we've lost Sector 9. The voice of Lieutenant Rain crackled through his calm. Kane turned to see his second-in-command dragging a wounded soldier toward cover. Above them, a Xel'Thar dreadnought unleashed a beam of energy, vaporizing an entire city block. Kane clenched his jaw. This was it. "All units, fall back to command bunker," he ordered. "We hold the line here." His soldiers obeyed, rallying behind him as the alien horde closed in. The Xel'Thar weren't just attacking. They were erasing humanity from existence. The battle raged for hours, but one by one his men fell, until only Kane remained. Kane's breath was ragged as he stumbled through the ruins, his armor scarred and scorched. His pulse rifle was running dangerously low on energy, and his comms were filled with nothing but static. The Earth's forces were gone. His battalion was dead, and the Xel'Thar were still hunting him. Above him, the crimson glow of the alien mothership loomed over the broken battlefield, its massive hull stretching across the sky like a god of destruction. He had one option left: escape. An abandoned Xel'Thar gunship lay smoldering in the wreckage, its hull breached but its engines still active. If he could reach it, he could get off this planet before they finished wiping out the survivors. "Move, Kane. Move." He sprinted toward the wreckage, weaving through the smoldering corpses of both human and alien soldiers. His boots crushed spent shell casings, and the acrid scent of burning flesh and molten steel filled his lungs. The Xel'Thar had no mercy. They weren't here to conquer. They were here to exterminate. The ship was close now. Then a scream, inhuman and deafening, tore through the air. Kane spun, raising his rifle just as three Xel'Thar hunters emerged from the shadows. They were grotesque. Their biomechanical armor fused their bodies, their clawed hands dripping with human blood. Their multiple eyes glowed with eerie blue light, scanning him like prey. One of them hissed in its native tongue, raising a bladed energy spear. "Human, you will not leave this world." Kane didn't hesitate. He raised his pulse rifle and fired the last of his rounds, the plasma bolts tearing through the first alien's chest. It shrieked, collapsing in a heap. The second one lunged, but Kane ducked and drove his combat knife into its throat, twisting until his blue-black blood sprayed across his armor. The third Xel'Thar smashed into him, sending him sprawling into debris. His rifle skidded out of reach. Pain flared through his ribs, but Kane forced himself up just in time to see the alien warrior charging, its spear aimed straight at his heart. "Not today, bastard." Kane rolled aside at the last second, grabbing a fallen enemy's shock grenade from ground. As the Xel'Thar turned, Kane shoved the grenade into its open mouth and kicked it back. The alien's eyes widened in realization. Then boom! The explosion ripped its head apart, sending chunks of biomechanical flesh flying in every direction. Kane wiped blood from his face, breathing hard. The gunship was just ahead. He limped forward, climbing into the cockpit, his hands flying over the unfamiliar controls. He had no time to figure them out properly. The Xel'Thar would be on him any second. With a final desperate push, he slammed his fist onto the engine controls. The ship lurched into the air, engine sputtering, but it was enough. Kane pulled back the throttle, the gunship blasting away from the battlefield, leaving the burning wreckage of Earth's last stand behind. He was alive, but the war wasn't over. Not yet.